Good morning, everyone. I think we should begin, if we are to keep on time with what we have planned for today. Good morning. My name is Eugenia Gusilov. I'm the director of the think tank Romania Energy Center, and I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone who have decided to attend today's event, because we will talk about a complex topic, but as you know, our think tank does not shy away from sensitive topics or complex topics. A few words about the topic that brought us here today. So it's both small modular reactors. It's both old and new at the same time. Old because small modular reactors have been around for about 50, 60 years, including the small versions, and they've been used as research projects in universities. They've been used as demonstration projects before scaling up to the bigger, larger nuclear power plants. They've been used for marine propulsion, so for submarines, for nuclear icebreakers, and for aircraft carriers. So this is not new from this point of view. The industry has seen such projects and has worked, and there is a track record of about 50, 60 years with the small, with the nuclear reactors in the smaller version. The way we have designed, so this is the old part, the new part. The new part, it's new because we're talking about miniaturization. We are talking about new technologies, so new approaches to technology. Generation 3 versus generation 4, but more about that in panel 2. I will not speak too much about this now. So there are also a host of other new things that we talk about, like passive safety systems. The way we have designed today's event, so we have two panels. In the first panel, we'll have a focus on Europe and Romania specifically, and we have the two projects that are happening in Romania, so Doicesti, and then we'll have a presentation on ALFRED project. And in the second panel, we'll collect some regional perspectives in the sense that we will try to see what other countries are doing and how other countries are approaching this topic of SMRs. We have invited today to speak people from different walks of life, and because this is a multifaceted topic, we have invited the scientists, we have invited people that work in the industry, we have invited diplomats, we have invited the company that is developing the first such project in Romania. We have invited analysts, and of course diplomats who are working on the diplomatic front, because there are many facets to this topic. Without saying too much, in addition, I will just want to add that this is the first event that we organize with our partners from ROMATOM, Romanian Atomic Forum, and the third such event that we organize with the European Commission representation in Bucharest. We're also happy to have the support of Nuscale Electrica, the company that operates the two nuclear reactors in Romania, and also Canadian nuclear partners who also support this event. So to keep it short, I hope you enjoy what we have prepared for you today, and that we have insightful and productive discussions throughout the day. With this, I would like to invite now Mrs. Anca Păduraru from the European Commission representation in Bucharest to say a few words of welcome, and then Mr. Giovanni Villabruna to say the same on behalf of ROMATOM.
Good morning to all, and on behalf of the European Commission representation in Bucharest, I am happy to welcome you at our premises. And we are honored that you have decided to choose the European Commission as host for this event. Why? Because the European Commission acknowledges that new technologies such as small modular reactors are making significant progress and have the potential to play an important role in the integrated energy system by providing low carbon electricity and heat with a limited footprint. I am not an expert in this issue as such, but I do know the official position of the European Commission, and I know that we are talking about benefits and challenges when it comes to the small and modular reactors. And if we talk about the benefits, the SMRs present several potential benefits, ranging from improved safety features such as passive safety system, better financing options due to reduced construction schedules, lower investment needs, fewer components, and smaller plant footprints per unit. And for the EU countries which choose to include nuclear in their energy mix, SMRs could also be promising options for replacing old coal power plants and complementing as well as facilitating the increased penetration of renewables. They can be flexibly used for district heating, desalination, generation of process heat for energy intensive industries, and production of hydrogen. At the same time, we also know that there are challenges. And when we talk about challenges, we talk about the challenges to validate the business case for SMRs, assuring predictability, streamlined licensing processes and frameworks, developing global supply chains to ensure profitability, identify suitable nuclear sites, and achieving a transparent dialogue model between concerned stakeholders. The Commission's priority in general is that these new designs under development ensure that nuclear energy is used only with the highest standards of safety, radiation protection for workers and citizens, also a responsible management of radioactive waste and spent fuels, and a reliable non-proliferation regime, which ensures that nuclear material is not diverted from its intended use. With this, I will also mention what the EU is doing in terms of leadership and strategic independence of SMRs. In 2021, just to recall that as part of its continuous support for initiatives to help EU countries decarbonize their energy system, the European Commission organized the first ever EU workshop on small modular reactors. And since 2024, since February this year, actually, we have a European SMR Industrial Alliance. And its primary goal is to accelerate the development, demonstration, and deployment of concrete SMR projects in Europe in the early 2030s. So this is the news from us. Of course, we are also involved in research and training on SMRs, and at the international level, we also cooperate, of course, with the US, because the EU and US share a rich history of mutually beneficial cooperation on nuclear energy. And in 2019, the first EU-US high-level forum on SMRs was organized, and this cooperation is continuing. Interest in SMRs is growing at international level, and we acknowledge this. And in this context of discussions about moving the net zero greenhouse gas emissions, the discussion should continue. I think I will stop here because you have a lot of information also on our websites, and I hope that this event tackles and explores these issues. And I wish you a productive event. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well, Mr. Villabruna.
Thank you very much. Hello to everybody. Thanks to the Romanian Energy Center to invite Romatom to co-organize this event, and a special thank to you, Eugenia, for your activity, which is always very active in an energy field. I'm glad to see that the room is full, which it means that this subject the subject that we are discussing today is of high interest, and indeed the interest on SMR grow up day by day, and hopefully we will see soon a project completed in Romanian as well. First of all, I would like to spend a few words of ROMATOM. The Romanian Atomic Forum ROMATOM was founded in January 2001 by 14 companies with private and state capital and 2 non-governmental associations. ROMATOM is a Romanian legal entity, an independent representative association at the national level, non-governmental, non-profit, and apolitical. Are a lot of words, but indeed we think that we are really in this situation. The members currently about 60 are Romanian and foreign and/or foreign legal entities whose object of activities is in this country is linked to the production of electricity and thermal energy through nuclear processes. Among the associates, there are suppliers of goods and services providers from Romanian nuclear industry, professional, technical, or scientific association, and other legal entities carrying out activities in the field of the nuclear energy, such as research institute. We have among us RATEN ICN Institute in this room. In the field, and we are proud to have all of these actors which are forming our association. The purpose of ROMATOM is the peaceful use of nuclear energy in Romania, the promotion of the national nuclear program, as well as the coordination of all the activities undertaken through the association membership and participation in the board of the Nuclear Europe, the former European Atomic Forum for Atom. In a few words, ROMATOM represents the voice of the national nuclear industry and works for the protection and promotion of the interests of its members. Last month of May, ROMATOM became a member of the European Industrial Alliance of the Small Modular Reactor and participated to the first General Assembly that has brought together over 300 representatives of the 277 companies and organizations that have joined this imposing alliance. The alliance aims to facilitate and accelerate the development, the demonstration, and the deployment of the first SMR projects in Europe in the early 2030s. It operates through specific working groups, including the very important one dedicated to revitalization of the supply chain, giving a chance to the Romanian industry to extend their activities on nuclear projects not only in Romania. Romania is ready to become a pioneer in Europe using small modular reactors, providing a model for implementing this advanced technology in the region. This initiative will not only support Romania's energy transition, but will also contribute to the energy security and the decarbonization of the European energy sector. ROMATOM are supporting the projects ongoing in Romania. I'm referring to the new technologies of small modular reactor, the Doicesti project, and the Generation 4 reactors, namely the Advanced Lead-Cooled Fast Reactor European Demonstrator ALFRED. It's a quite a long name, but this is the right name. About these two important and interesting projects, we will have much more information details by the CEO of RoPower Nuclear, Mrs. Melania Musa, and by RATEN ICN representative, Mr. Marian Constantin. Thank you very much, and all the best for the future of the SMR.
Thank you very much, Mr. Villabruna. Now I would like to invite the chairman of panel one, as well as the speakers of the panel one, to take a seat.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for coming here. This is an important event that is organized by ROEC and ROMATOM, and I'm very glad to start the session, the first panel. So I'm inviting Madame Melania Muza from RoPower Nuclear. Melania is the Chief Executive Officer of this company, and also she has broad experience in industry, and also, which is very important, is she's combining the industry with the legal affairs, and that is very good for somebody to in that position to be multilateral. So Melania, you have the floor. I understood that you have to leave after that.
Yes.
So that if there are questions, to be prepared to put questions at the end of Melania's presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Chirica, and hello to everybody. It's very good to be here. I'm actually delighted to be in front of such a distinguished audience, and thank you very much for inviting me, Eugenia. Congratulations for this event. Yes, my name is Melania Muza, and thank you, Dr. Chirica, for the introduction. I'm the CEO of RoPower Nuclear. RoPower Nuclear is the company that is developing the SMR project in Romania. And there are, I would say, two main coordinates that are, featuring, that are defining the SMR project in Romania right now. It's basically the technology that the project is set upon. It's about the Nuscale technology, and it's about the site of Doicesti. I would like to spend a couple of words to describe the status of our project, and I would also like to spend a couple of words about why we chose the community and the place of Doicesti, one of the reasons, and which are the benefits for the community and which are the benefits for the industry of us choosing the site of Doicesti. So, the site of Doicesti has been chosen by Nuclearelectrica with a number of years ago after an independent study that was financed by the USTDA. The USTDA is a financial institution held by the US government, and there was a grant allocated to Nuclearelectrica in order to finance this study. This study has been carried out in accordance to the methodology of the International Atomic Energy Agency, and that study basically encompassed several plots of land. Further to the study, we have pre-selected the plot of land of Doicesti, and we have also invited the agency, the IAEA, to audit our selection process. The selection process audit took about 2 years. We had multiple visits, multiple delegations, and multiple scrutiny exercises and monitoring exercises by the agency. And I think it was April this year when we were welcoming a very, very positive report full of congratulations on Nuclearelectrica for using the methodology, the selection methodology of the agency in the best possible way. So we are very glad to have a pre-selected site that has been whose selection was blessed, and we are also very, very glad to have a site that was prior coal power plant. That is the coal power plant of Doicesti. It was, you probably know, it was built in the 50s. It was one of the master pieces of the energy infrastructure at that point. It was one of the backbone generating assets for in terms of coal power generation, and it was in function until the early 2000s. So in the early 2000s, the coal power plant was shut down and it was decommissioned. And after a while, when it was After a while, when it stood inactive, it was pre-selected to become the SMR project site in Romania, which is not only a very confident set of information and a very confident set of elements for the decision. The fact that the land of Doicesti used to be a coal power plant in terms of history, in terms of starting points for the geotests, for seismic tests, and for many safety related aspects that are required for the final investment decision in the SMR project. But it's something that we are very happy to do because it absolutely aligns and illustrates the trend and the tendency that basically shows that former coal power plants are suitable for SMR sites. This is a fact. This is something that the US government also noticed. This is something that was the basis for one of the local programs of the US government that basically encourages the survey, the site survey, and the site pre-selection of former coal power plants. So, yes, we are in this trend. We are creating this trend, and we are determined to make it a good and successful project. Because what we are proud for is that we have a solid project. We have a solid site pre-selection process. We have a solid partner. The engineering company Fluor, the American very experienced EPC contractor, and we have solid expertise and not only project expertise but nuclear expertise coming from our parent Nuclear Electrica. And I'm looking here at Dr. Chirica, and he knows very well what I'm talking about. And I have also Dr. Șerbanescu, one of the senior experts of Nuclear Electrica, also in our team in RoPower. He is in the public. So I would say that we are not only the heirs of this very important patrimony, knowledge patrimony, information patrimony, but we are also, I think, up to now, a very let me say, proud user of this information and of this heritage that takes basically the Romanian nuclear tradition one step further, and one very important step further. So with that, I'm open to question if there are any. I would say that at this point we are preparing to entering feed phase 2 or phase of our project, and we are working very hard on that. There are multiple aspects to be aligned. It's a very complex project, but what I can always tell any audience is that we are very committed to the everyday decisions of our project. To be the best decisions that we can make, the best risk assessment that we can make, and the best management decisions that we can make. I think this is what puts our project, what makes it stand out along other projects. And we are also showing here our commitment to keep it this way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melanie. There are questions?
Thank you. Andreea Dogar from the press. I wanted to ask you how much do you think it will cost and what are the financing sources?
Yes, thank you very much for the question. At this point, we have a cost estimate that basically is below the precision level of a decision cost estimate. So that means that we are developing the final cost estimate that will be the basis of the decision. There are some cost estimates, but it's not worth spending too much time or energy on them, because they are only products of the process that of the cost estimate creation that will lead us to the cost estimate suitable for the FID in terms of precisions. Thank you.
Please, it's good news that you have audit from IRDMR from selection process. But just I ask you if you have valid, if it is this report, public report.
You mean public report of raw power?
IRDMR.
Yes, the report is public subject to the rules of the IAEA. Yes.
You may give us a link.
There are rules by the IAEA that basically govern, but I think there is a section that is open to the public.
It's better to make it public.
Okay, thank you.
Among your partners is Fluor Corporation, which is a major player in the nuclear field. I know extremely well. I was instrumental in connecting Cluj-Napoca with Columbia, South Carolina, where actually it's a major nuclear plant. And Fluor Corporation is one of the managers in the area. What my suggestion will be regarding the Dâmbovița County, where we have a university, Politehnica University, to organize a set of public debates in order of educating the population, which actually it's happening in South Carolina, and I'm one of the sponsors of one of the organizations there. So over the next weeks and months, I have a suggestion to develop a cooperation with the Politehnica University. We can sponsor part of the debates. It's my name and connection. It's on the list here. I was invited. In order of making the population, because there we have a very educated and professional group of students. I'm talking about Politehnica University. And Doicesti is just a couple of kilometers away. That's all which I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So this is a very good point. Your comment is straight to the point. We do have a partnership with Politehnica University. It was one of the main and the first stakeholders that we engaged with in the area of Dâmbovița. And we have a solid and continuous partnership with them. We were very welcome there. I know that my colleague Elena is here in the audience. She is the mastermind behind this partnership. We have actions. We have over there with them. We have engagement plans, engagement actions involving them, and not only engagement in terms of the community engagement. We count on them to provide qualified workforce in their nuclear engineering group curricula that would basically support our project and not only nuclear engineer. There are so many specialties in the university that can be a resource for that. Yes. Yes, because as we know very well, nuclear is a good neighbor, and nuclear has to be a good neighbor also in terms of how they collect, how we collect our next generation of specialists, particularly because we want to become, we want to also organize the operatorship of this plant. And the target, one of the targets, is to become specialized both in the SMR technology operation and also in the CANDU, in a way to become agnostic in the technology operation.
Do you mind if I add to that answer as well? You may know that in the past 2 years, I think there have been 1 or 2 different town halls that have been held in the region as well, to try to educate the local people there. We're also working with the Romanian Orthodox Church to educate people through that. And then in April, the US Ambassador to Romania and the Minister of Energy went and held the first ever press conference on site there, all an effort to try to educate, to dispel bad rumors about the technology and to set the record straight.
So if I may add something here, maybe you are aware that there is an alliance between 12 universities in Romania. So we have great expectations from this alliance because, as it was mentioned, we don't need only nuclear engineers, we need also electrical, IT, and different other discipline, civil constructors, and so that we expect some support from that side. That Politehnica is there in that group, and so I believe that we have to prepare them because in a certain period of time, there will be in force the mandatory public consultations by law that I'm talking about the environmental impact assessment. So no, I know because I managed that many years ago for Chernobyl, the Unit 2, the public opinion discussions. It was very challenging and very interesting. So thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Yes. I'm more curious to find out where we're at with the licensing process in Europe. Has that started? How long can it take? And also maybe give us the potential timeline.
Timeline for the final decision.
Thank you, Eugenia, for the question. So, as you know, the technology has been subject to license to the licensing process of the US-NRC, the local regulator under which it was developed. Portions of that process will also be incorporated our own in the Romanian / European licensing architecture. We all know that the licensing architecture of the SMR would require some different features compared to the big nuclear to make it feasible and to make it workable in Europe and in Romania. What I can tell you is that locally we are working with Cenecan in order to submit as soon as possible one of our first licenses for the sites, as soon as we are equipped with the right set of data. We are working now in processing this set of data internally in raw power. This is a big achievement, we believe, that we are able to process this set of data and submit the license and follow through with our regulator by our own forces. Obviously, we will need some help from outside consultants, but basically it will be an internal effort, which we are very proud of. So this is where we are. We are looking at this first step, hopefully very soon, and we'll keep you posted.
Thank you very much. So here also that I'm relying very much on the connection with US-NRC, because if we remember very well, when the conduit at that time, we have the Canadian regulator support, and that there are we have the knowledges, but sometimes you need to have somebody in the backup to help you. So now,
do you mind if I add a quick thing on the timeline as well on that from the US-NRC? So normally when a project, an application is submitted, the NRC takes a full 2 years to complete their work. That was submitted July of last year, and they're on track to make the decision public in July of 2025. And during that process, Cenecan, the nuclear regulator here, plans to send some personnel to be part of that approval process with the NRC so that they gain that on the job experience, so that when they come back afterwards to work on Cenecan's part, the process goes much smoother and they're much more fluent in that specific project.
Thank you, Jesu, for intervention. Now is your...
There was one more back there.
Oh, yes, please.
Two quick questions for Mrs. Amuza. My name is Liviu Petru. I'm a small investors in SMR technology companies. So could you please tell us, of course, there are financial projections of the Doicesti project. When are these projections going to be made public? And the second question, do you envision that at one moment in the life of the project, the Doicesti project will go public on, I don't know what, stock exchange? And sorry, I still have another question. You mentioned that the project is entering now in its phase 2. What is this phase 2 comprised of?
Thank you very much for the question. Let me tell you that as for the prior question with respect to the cost estimate, whenever the data will be mature enough and documented enough, and this is the process that we are working upon with this FEED phase 2 process, which we are looking, it's coming very soon, we hope. Then we will have the certainty to issue a set of data that basically will support the financial model and other elements necessary for the final investment decisions. And obviously, this part of these elements will be made public because it will be probably part of Nuclear Electrica decision-making process, and Nuclear Electrica, as a public company, will issue some of this information to the public according to the law, as we know very well. This FEED phase 2 phase of the project is basically the second part of the FEED phase of the project. The FEED stands for front-end engineering and design phase. That means that in this phase, we will grow to a status, to a more mature status of the project in terms of engineering, design, financial, regulatory, also set of data for the project. There are requirements of the project, for instance, for the engineering, for the maturity of the engineering that are suitable for the FID, for a future FID. But there are also requirements by the law that will have to be firm and to be mature, as required by the law for an investment decision to be made. Particularly with respect to shareholders such as Nuclear Electrica, which is subject to certain very, I would say, very known requirements in terms of their decision-making process. So this is where the FEED phase 2 is exactly the transition phase of this project, where we are developing, creating, co-creating with our partners this set of elements. Without this, obviously, we will not be able to reach FID or to document FID. And this is exactly our commitment, to help our shareholders to take the FID as required by the law and with a degree of maturity and certainty that is required by them. Thank you.
So the discussions are good, but we have a schedule. We have to move to the next speaker, Jessup Taylor. Jessup Taylor is an deputy economical counsel at the US Embassy in Bucharest. He has in the back broad experience in diplomacy. So, and he's one of the key persons in the relation on the energy, nuclear energy between Romania and the United States. Please, Jessup.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, my name is Jessup Taylor. I work at the US Embassy here. And part of my job is to help keep this project on track. As we know, with every big project, nuclear or non-nuclear, projects tend to run over on time and on money. And so we're trying to keep things on track as much as possible. There's a real need for SMRs in the world. And that's basically down to the consumer. The consumer likes choice. We don't want to choose only just the large traditional Chernobyl-like nuclear reactors. We need something smaller to be able to be more nimble and diverse to meet the needs of the customer wherever they are. If they're in a large city, if they're in a small little community out in the countryside. And we are developing this new technology commercially new. As was mentioned earlier, it's not brand new technology. It's been used for over 50 years in military and space applications. But it's important for the consumer to be able to have that option as well. The other key aspect, and it's I would imagine everybody. In fact, can I ask a raise of hands? Has anyone here used AI before? Who has used AI? A few people. Okay. That's going to grow and grow. I bet if we come back a year from now, more hands will go up that I have used AI, artificial intelligence. That is the future, whether we like it or not. That train, it's a bullet train, and it is moving very quickly. And we're all eventually going to have to get on that wagon. In order to power that wagon, we need a lot of power, a lot of energy. And SMRs are a key component of producing that power for these data centers that feed into artificial intelligence. And so, for example, in the United States, recently, the government, we have had to reassess our projections on the growth of energy needs in the United States. I mean, it's a big country, 333 million people. data centers, we thought were going to make up 6% of that energy need in the future. We've now revised that to 9%. 3% might seem like a small change. That's a lot for a big country. Data centers are going to eat up a lot of power. We need this technology, and we need it to be scaled to economy. We all know that a first of a kind project and is more expensive than an nth of a kind, and we're trying to get to that nth of a kind as quickly as possible. There are certain benefits to being a first mover, like Romania is trying to be. Romania was, much like its decision 30 plus years ago to choose North American technology with Cernavodă and CANDU technology. I think they were ahead of their time in choosing that. Romania is also, I think, ahead of its time in choosing Nuscale as its technology provider. Nuscale, as we all know, is the only manufacturer technology provider that has NRC approval for its 50 megawatt version. No other company in the world has that. No other company in the world is currently producing modules like Nuscale is producing in Doosan, South Korea. So it is much further along than all of its competitors, American, European, or whatever competitor. So again, I think Romania had the good foresight to choose this company moving forward. Whether or not Romania, the project in Doicesti, is a first of a kind for Nuscale, or whether the first of a kind happens in America, we still don't know the answer to that yet. It being a first of a kind SMR project in Europe, I think is much more likely. And there are great benefits that come with that, including supply chain benefits. As the country and the government moves and RoPower moves to build this site, all the certifications, whether it be for pouring cement, steel, whatever have you, that will be required to be used on a nuclear site will be so beneficial for any other project in Romania or in the region, because they will already have the certified suppliers. And that supply chain is key and extremely valuable. Not only that, but Romania will become an SMR hub. As we already know from the SMR simulator that was opened a little over a year ago at Politehnica University, it is going to be a beacon for students and experts alike to come here to see what it is that Romania is doing and how it is leading the way here in Europe on nuclear power, which is extremely needed also in academia. By 2030, 2032, we're going to need several thousand more employees working in the nuclear industry here. And that simulator, the new programs, both at Politehnica University as well as at universities in Wallachia, those programs are going to be key to bringing more and developing that workforce that we will need 10 years from now. The last thing I'll say is that in terms of cost, we don't know the true cost yet because we haven't done FEED phase 2 yet. And that's where we're going to find out the true cost and what's needed. And I know that the press and others are really keen to know what that cost is. We just don't know yet. But the US government is fully supportive of the Doicesti project, not just politically, but also financially. And as was announced a year ago at G7, US Export-Import Bank has a letter of interest for $3 billion towards this project, and DFC for a separate $1 billion for this project. So there is a lot of support all the way to the top of the US government. President Biden has spoken about it. Former Secretary Kerry has spoken about it several times, including here in Bucharest. So we're very excited about this project. We're excited to move towards FEED phase 2, which we hope will happen in the coming weeks. And we move upwards and onwards from there. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Questions from the floor?
Excellent. Move on to our next speaker. Yeah.
Okay, just I want to add a comment regarding the connection that just made between the SMRs and the Navy. And I was impressed in the movie of Oliver Stone, which is a documentary. It's not an artistic movie. And also after that, I read and become a fan of Admiral Rickover, who is the one who is under his command. It was launched the first nuclear submarine, Nautilus, in 53, 54. And also that Westinghouse was part of the construction of the reactor. And remember that after 5-6 years, shipping point was commissioned and operates 30 years without major incident. Of course, there are maybe small issues happening. So that is something that is a solid argument for the SMRs. And remember that the reactor power was 60 megawatts. Is some or more or less is quite close to a module from Nuscale. So, the other, I noticed that media was very active, some part of the media. They drop on the stock market. Now look back on the stock market and they are growing back. Thank you. Now is, Kesha, sorry.
For this, we must involve Romanian industry. Do you have plan how many percent do you want to involve for Romanian industry?
We only have estimations at this point, but the answer is as much as possible, because this is a national project and it has to be representative for the Romanian industry as well. This is something that we want to promote, not only to promote, but we want to achieve, because there is no national SMR project without the national industry being involved and being supported to step to the status where they can support this project and the next projects. So we are looking at this point at an estimate that says like 40% of the project, which is something that we want to further document. As I said, for this phase of the project development, we are looking at transitory figures, preliminarily documented figures. They will be further defined in phase 2 of this project. So we'll come back, sir, with an answer next year. Obviously, as everybody knows, we are talking about natural uranium in the existing cycle, and we will be talking about a different kind of fuel based on enrichment on the second cycle. But these are details that we will have to sort out in the project together with the government and to make a strategic plan and a strategic project based on that. But thank you very much for the question. And obviously, all the treaties in which Romania is a party will have to be observed and complied with. Thank you.
So I don't believe that in the next future we may process enriched uranium, because all the countries in the world, practically there are few providers for enriched uranium. Okay, that could be find some participation. I don't know. It's too early to consider that.
I want to inform everybody that at Raw Power we are working now on fuel cycle for this plant, which considers the fact that we are talking about 3 fuel cycles in Romania in the next at least 50 years. There will be 1 fuel cycle for Cernavodă, 1 fuel cycle for SMRs, 1 fuel cycle for ALFRED. And we are looking at the synergies between these fuel cycles. In this moment, we got deeper than generic discussions, and we are working on scenarios which are going to be submitted to the management, executive management, and then for the approval of the investors. And this is a medium and long-term plan which considers depository, burning that in the Generation 4 reactors and many other things which are going to be developed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now is the... please.
One last question for both of you. I have one simple question regarding who will be actually the operator of the Doicesti plant when and if it is built. So Nuclearelectrica or RoPower? And for JSOP, what other countries in Europe are looking at the NuScale technology and who might be in the race with Romania for this first of a kind project?
Thank you, Eugenia, for the question. So in our mind, there is no doubt Nuclearelectrica will be our operator. RoPower is the project company, is the owner at this point, but the operatorship will come in the safe hands of Nuclearelectrica, that basically has 30 years of, or more than 30 years of safe operations and with an experienced input from our regulators. So for us, there is no other option that we are looking at than Nuclearelectrica. And obviously, there will be a structure developed, but at the end of the structure, the foreseeable result is Nuclearelectrica is going to be the operator. Yeah.
Sorry, please, just.
For Europe, there are several countries that are looking. It's still trying to decide which provider they want to go with. You know, Poland has chosen GE Hitachi, Bulgaria has chosen Westinghouse, Romania has chosen NuScale. But other countries like Czechia, Slovakia, the UK are still going through the decision-making process to figure out which one they want to go with and which sort of structure, business structure that they want to have for their project going forward, which is another question. Even in the United States, we're still trying to figure out what business structure we want to have going forward with SMRs, whether it be a standalone, whether it be part of a package, so you de-risk the costs that are involved with building a one. But if you spread the cost over several, then that helps mitigate any, some risk factors. So it's still an open question. I mean, commercially, we're breaking new ground here, and we're still trying to figure out a lot of answers to questions that are easy to ask, but hard to answer.
Last question.
Giuseppe, you mentioned, and I'm very glad that you mentioned AI in the context of the SMR story. Now we are here to focus on let me call it the supply side of the story of the SMRs. Now moving to the demand side, and as you said, the artificial intelligence is probably the single one biggest source of demand for the SMRs. The number of the artificial data centers in the States are mushrooming. You are nearing to some 6,000 AI data centers, and in the United States alone. And the number two, which is, I think it's Great Britain and then China, they are at a far distance from your number of AI data centers. And now I have a question. From your position here in Romania, in the American Embassy, are you aware of any plans to develop artificial data centers here in Romania, plans of American companies like Equinix, for instance, or I don't know, any other big company in the business of artificial intelligence data centers?
So I don't know the answer to your question, but I know that there are a lot of U.S. IT companies that are very active here and are not only investing money in infrastructure and in personnel, but also big programs potentially like this. But again, I don't have the specific answer to your question, whether Amazon and Yash or pick your AI company, Microsoft or whoever, may be looking at it in the future, but maybe have not made that decision quite yet.
Thank you very much. And now we'll move to the next speaker. It's Roxana Nistor. She's a lecturer at the Nuclear Engineering Division in Politehnica University. And she's in charge with the educational simulator. No, I'm right? In Politehnica. Please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roxana, and as Mr. Chirico already said, I'm a lecturer at Politehnica University of Bucharest, being part of the Nuclear Engineering Division and training people, basically students, as a future generation in nuclear engineering, also focused on small modular reactors. It's been a year since the simulator was launched, and we've learned a lot along with our students. We've learned how to train them through training from the United States, but also we've learned how to train students with them, basically focused on their needs, on the market needs. So also I would like to thank Raw Power and Nuclear Electric for their support over the time, and also because they were the main companies that selected Politehnica of Bucharest to host this simulator. Let me just tell you a story, like a simple story. We started from Blackboard, writing on the Blackboard. So I've been part of this transition from writings on the Blackboard as the main instrument of teaching, and went through over the years to retro projectors with static images, and it was really hard to understand all those information that professors tend to explain us. Also, we went through video projectors, and it offered us the opportunity to see dynamic images, dynamic behaviors in nuclear power plants. And now, after a long time, we are seeing an interactive and dynamic simulator, a real-time environment simulator that helps in training the future generation in nuclear engineering. After 1 year, or let's say from the beginning of the simulator 1 year ago, we've started from the STAR concept, which basically means stop, act, think, act, and review. So we basically stopped a little bit when we got the simulator. We were trying to figure how to implement it in our courses, in our classes, to make our classes better, to make our classes more interactive, to make our classes more attractive to the new generation. So after stopping, we thought about including some of the information we've got from the publicly available literature, from the Nuscale website, from the NRC website, and so on. So we started acting, and we implemented those information in our courses as theoretical information. Then we applied all those information along with our students in the simulator. Let me just say that they were thrilled about the simulator. Perfect. Okay, so this is the principle that I was talking to you about. So is the STAR principle: stop, think, act, and review. We went through stop, so we stopped a little bit. We started thinking about how to improve our courses and how to make our courses more attractive to our students. We acted, so we added new features in our courses, and we also started training students in the simulator. So working in the real-time environment, also putting them in the position of being an operator for a nuclear power plant. And after that, we are still in the review process. We are currently reviewing what we've done good and what we've done in the wrong way, let's say. So we basically reviewed our courses. We also took some feedbacks from our students, and we are going right now from the beginning, also stopping, thinking, acting, and then reviewing again, doing this every year. So what we've noticed after 1 year of using the simulator, we've seen some improved skills on the hard parts, so hard skills and also soft skills. It's way easier, and those things that I will be talking about are based on our students' feedback. So on the reactor design, it's way easier to understand a new design, and not only a new design, a current design, like an operating design. If you work in a simulator, if you work with the simulator with a real-time simulation environment. Also, they improved their knowledges on thermohydraulics. It was really hard for us during the master courses. I personally teach relapse sim for master students. And I can tell you it's really hard for the student to get familiar with the code, get familiar how to build an input model for simple thermohydraulic analysis. And now with the simulator, we have the opportunity to show them that their model and their results could be verified through the simulator. Also, improved knowledge on safety, because the simulator is showing all those buttons that are the primary safety functions in the Nuscale design. And every time we run a transient or an accident scenario, it's way easier to see in the simulator when a safety function is challenged. And one other thing is the fact that the simulation, it's basically the base of the knowledges, the base of the results that we got from let's say, plant response. So these hard skills are way improved than we saw in the previous generations. Also, the soft skills. As you can see, there are some pictures. Those are pictures from the simulator, pictures with our students. They were engaged in the academic debates. They were also working as a team. We grouped them into, let's say, groups of 5 people, 4 or 5 people, and they worked together to solve an issue. They also are not very used to interact with each other or learn from each other. So the simulator encouraged them to learn as peer-to-peer, to learn from their peers. So it encourages the peer-to-peer interaction and also the critical thinking. So the main conclusions after 1 year, based on, let's say, an estimation, we have an increased number in diploma projects focused on SMR, mostly on Nuscale design since we have the simulator. Also, we've doubled our number of candidates for the nuclear engineering master program. And let me just underline something. When I was a student, when I was a candidate to the nuclear engineering program, we were like 15 candidates on 30, I assume 30, as 30 students to be enrolled in the nuclear engineering master program. So comparing to the previous year, so comparing 2022 to 2023 and 2024, we've doubled the number of the candidates for the nuclear engineering master program. That's because of the simulator. So their interest, the interest of the students has increased for the nuclear engineering section due to the simulator. Also, we've seen an increased interest in working with the simulator, and we are currently having 1 candidate for an engineer, entry engineering engineer at Politehnica University in our nuclear engineering division. And also, we've seen that the class attractiveness has increased. So we have an increased number of students participating to classes because, as you know, faculty is not mandatory. So they basically understand something like, well, classes are not mandatory, just the faculty if we want to finish the studies. So it doesn't matter if I go to classes or not. At the end, I just have to take the exams. But now we've seen that the presence at classes has been increased. Also, one very important thing is the fact that the dropout rate has decreased significantly. From, let's say, we were around 33 students in the nuclear engineering specialization in 2013, and we ended up on time So basically, defending our diploma at the end of the fourth year, around 13. And now from the 60 students that we've got enrolled in 2024 in the fourth year, we have around 80% that are going to defend their undergraduate diploma. So the dropout rate has decreased significantly. So this is the main, let's say, overview on the last year regarding the simulator. I would like to thank you all for your attention, and I'm free to questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roxana. Done.
I don't have a question. Thank you very much for. I just want to make some comments to complement the information. So the first information is that in November 2019, a delegation visited Corvallis and decided we have to think seriously about having Nuscale in Romania. And we wrote the report when we were back home. With the same occasion, we visited the E2 module in Corvallis, and we thought about the opportunity that we could have something like that in Romania. And we started to work on both things. They became true due to the high support from US Embassy, Department of State, and we are here. That's the first comment. The next is in RoPower, we have a program to train and prepare people for the plant. What hub means from the point of view of training people is that we have a training program for them in Cernavodă, an in-house training program, an E2 training program, and an international supported training program. For the E2 training program, as a director of engineering division, I assigned a group of 5 people who actually go to the E2 simulator with Roxana's support, and they review and develop operating procedures for Nuscale. We are doing that now. So that's the second information. Thank you very much.
So, any other questions? Please.
Yes, hello. Thank you for this very insightful look at the simulator. I was wondering how the simulator was financed, and as the project evolves and maybe gets more evolved from Nuscale evolves, will the simulator be also receive regular updates? What's like the timeline on the simulator? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. First of all, I have no idea about financial support. Unfortunately, I'm too small, let's say, to know those information, but I'm sure that Dr. Șerbanescu knows something about it, or the head of Politehnica of Bucharest. So I have no idea about the financial support for the simulator, if you have any idea, because I was not directly involved in
We have to thank the Department of State of the United States. This was for Romania. For the future, that will depend on the purposes we are going to have. In this moment, we are looking on the terminal from Politehnica to RoPower headquarters.
Just to clarify, the simulator itself was a donation, but the cost of the installation of bringing it and installing it came from the Department of State in Washington. And also, just a side note that there are 4 Nuscale simulators at universities in America, and there are 2 overseas, one here and one in Korea. The one here was the first one that was installed overseas.
And to catch up with your question regarding the improvements that will be done for the simulator in the United States, the Nuscale company said that any improvement that will be done to the United States simulator will be also available for Politehnica University. If you do not know about it, we are basically running the simulations. So basically the simulator runs through the internet connection through a server from the United States, so in Oregon. Thank you.
Very much. Now we move to the next speaker, is Mr. Marin Constantin from the Institute of Nuclear Research, and he will present the project ALFRED, which is another SMR, and so I have the floor.
Thank you to the organizers to this opportunity to present to you ALFRED project. What is the status of ALFRED project? That is another SMR promoted by Romania in international context of Europe Union. And also I will try to introduce some synergies between our effort and the efforts for integral PWR Doicesti project. We started this kind of activity in 2005, not for SMR first, but for lead-fast reactor technology. Lead-fast reactor technology was very important, and we received the financing from European Union due to the fact that we can burn the waste. This is very important, the minimization of the waste and solving a great issue of the nuclear. Therefore, we started to work in 2005 for a reactor of 600 electric megawatts. The name is ELSI. It was that time it was the optimal size for the European grid, and later we are thinking, reflecting, and understanding that the SMR is not only a promising solution, but it is a very practical way to adapt to the changing in the grid and in the energy market. What is ALFRED? ALFRED resulted from this effort as a demonstrator. We wanted to build a demonstrator for lead-fast reactor technology, and the demonstration was in terms of the economic viability and technological viability. Therefore, the intention is to connect ALFRED to the grid, 125 electric megawatts. That is important, and it is in the size of SMR. And the total effort of this investment is estimated at that time at 1.5 billion euro. From the point of view of the configuration, we have an integral type, like in integral PWR. That means we have a reactor vessel. A small core is very small, is less than 1 cubic meter of high enriched fuel. We used mixed oxide fuel, that means uranium and plutonium combined. And the steam generators and decay heat removals system are directly inserted into the reactor vessel. That means a very simplified primary circuit without any pipes, and reducing the risk for local accident. Comparing with the project from Doicesti, here we have a fast reactor. That means we are using fast neutrons. We don't need the moderator. And we use higher temperature. Actually, the reactor is designed to work between 400 and 500 Celsius degrees. The project is supported by European Union. European Union practically agrees the development of 3 technologies for generation 4. lead fast reactor, sodium fast reactor, and gas fast reactor. Due to the fact that sodium is in a difficulty, practically the postponement of ASTRID demonstrator some years ago offered us this opportunity to be the main technology. Lead fast reactor is the main technology in generation 4 in Europe, and we have a great support from the Europe to continue this activity. Also at the international level, in Generation 4 International Forum, this technology is supported. There are 6 systems that are supported by Generation 4 International Forum. We are working in an international context. We have an international consortium. The name is Falcon, fostering ALFRED construction. And we are 3 organizations, Ensemble Nucleare and Enea from Italy and Raten ICN from Romania in this consortium set up in 2013. We have important memorandum of understanding signed with different organizations. You can see here also ROMATOM in this collaboration, trying to collaborate with different partners to develop this technology. Also, we have good partnership with the universities because we try to involve university in this long-term development. Now, in this year, we applied for SMR Industrial Alliance and introduced our application, reference designed, simplified, robust, and modular for this kind of LFR technology. And we have 2 candidate states, one in Pitești in Romania for ALFRED, and the second one in Mol in Belgium for a precursor, a very small reactor to demonstrate the part of the fuel. Testing the fuel is a reactor of around 5 megawatt. Going further, what's happened in the last years, we tried to enlarge this collaboration, having together the Belgium. Belgium was deeply involved in the development of lead bismuth technology that is very close to lead technology. They are involved in the MIRA project that is directly oriented to the transmutation and partitioning of the West, but some changing at the governmental vision and roadmap offered this possibility to go to small modular reactors. Therefore, we decided 2 years ago to be together and put the money together for SMR development in this part of LFR technology. At this moment, Belgium allocated an investment of around 100 million euro for the next 4 years. And Romania, at the same time, has important project to develop the infrastructure for the licensing. We are in the final phase for the first 2 important experimental facilities, and Athena and Ken Lab. We hope next year will be in operation. This was a project of 22 million euro in Mioveni. And we have practically the agreement, the approval for 100 million euro for the next 4 facility. This will be happened in the next 4-5 years. Therefore, we have more than 1 million euro from Romania and 1 million euro from the Belgium. And we have also the great support of the Italy as experimental facilities in Brasimone, and the support of Ensemble Nucleare as designer in this part. Together, we hope we can go fast to the next step to have this licensing process, and after that to go to the ALFRED construction. In terms of technological readiness level, where we are at this moment, because we are developing a technology comparing with Doicesti project, where we have a technology, very mature technology. We here are in the development. And our appreciation is we are somewhere at 5, 6 level. This level is practically the qualification level. We have to qualify the materials, the components, the system, and to test all these elements in this experimental infrastructure that we are building in Pitești. Here you can see some qualification needs for ALFRED, the pumps, the fuel handling system, the decay heat removal, steam generators, the coolant chemistry, and so on. Therefore, we have a lot of work to do for this qualification, and this is the status. Here you have some elements from research and development. We identified some open issues. We have to develop a solution for these open issues. For example, the lead environment introduce difficulties in terms of the materials that we are using, in terms of corrosion and erosion, and in terms of the thermal hydraulics, stratification of the coolant, and so on. Also, we have to work in the part of the fuel, but finally, we have to perform integral tests in order to demonstrate to the regulator we are fully controlling all the phenomena that are here in this kind of system. In these years, we identified what we have to build in terms of the infrastructure, experimental infrastructure, starting with the existing experimental facilities that are in Italy. The first group is practically long-term operated in Italy, and these facilities are offering important possibility to perform some tests. There are at the moment other facilities in Belgium. Last year we have this agreement and we can use practically in common these facilities. But beyond of this possibility in Italy and Belgium, we identified some gaps and tried to practically build some new large facilities to cover all the needs for the licensing process. It was resulted these 6 large facilities. First, in the first photo in the right is Athena and ChemLab. The project is close to be finalized. Athena is a big pool with lead, is the largest pool in the world at the moment. We have more than 800 tons of liquid lead in the system. And the ChemLab is the coupled chemistry laboratory. We investigate there the chemistry of lead and the chemistry of the cover gas. Another important facility is ELF. It is the electric simulator of this reactor. We practically build reactor quite at the scale of ALFRED, but not with fuel, with electrical heating, and demonstrate we are able to control all of the phenomena. And Helena 2 is a facility devoted to test the fuel assemblies. We have a melting pot. This is a part devoted to severe accident. It will be installed in our post-irradiation laboratory on our platform. And another important facility is hands-on, devoted to the fuel handling, because fuel handling is quite different. We have an opaque environment. Lead is not transparent, and also we have a lot of challenges in terms of the burn up and so on. All of these facility practically are in the construction, are projected, other to be built on the next years. Here you can see some photos from Athena and Ken Lab, the construction part. On the right, you can see the building of Athena and Ken Lab. Practically the most important part is underground. We have 20-meter underground with the main facility, main installation. And as I said, we hope after a big effort to enter in the operational phase next year. The money we received are European money from structural funds, and future money are also from Europe in order to build this infrastructure. Another important element is the adaptation of our system to the market. Practically, we are very interested in this flexibility of the system. We have the same flexibility as integral PWR, but we have better performances in terms of the dynamics. We have not so big issues in terms of reactivity coefficients, oscillation of poisons, and so on. But due to this great development of renewables, we are thinking to the thermal storage. That is the most practicable option in this case to store the electricity, and also to the hydrogen production, hydrogen for load following. Going at the final, I want to say some advantages of our technology. The most important advantage is this optimization for the waste. We are able to burn the minor actinides, and by multiple reprocessing, practically we can reduce a lot the final disposal for the fuel. We have an amazing increasing in the efficiency of the use of natural resources due to the fact that we are using uranium-38, not uranium-35. And in terms of the safety and reliability, we have the same target to eliminate the need for off-site emergency response, as in Doicesti case. We have some cost advantages and some very interesting elements from non-proliferation and physical protection, because this is an unattractive route for diversion or theft of the weapons usable materials. We are combining practically the advantages of this technology with advantages of SMRs in terms of flexibility and adaptability, the modular construction, the lower EPZ, and the presence of the passive system. Okay. Finally, I missed the last. Oh, it's here. Sorry. Okay. Okay, here. Yeah. I want to say some synergies between our activity at Athena ICN and integral PWR SMR. Of course, we are dedicated a lot of effort to ALFRED. Is one of our targets. But as the important support for the nuclear development in Romania, we are practically working also for this part of SMR. And I want to mention some activities. Some of them are supported by international projects. The first one is the building of the methodology to analyze the severe accident in SMR integral PWR. That is a great issue in discussion with the regulatory. Even the probability is very, very low. We cannot avoid this discussion. And in these projects as PAMSA, we develop methodology to investigate, to analyze severe accident. Also, a dedicated effort to the licensing process for this kind of reactor in harmonized project. And we are preparing at the moment a national survey for public attitude for SMR implementing in Romania. The survey will be practically applied in parallel in Romania and in Belgium. We have the results next year, will be, I hope, interesting. We have another project, EcoSense, where we investigate the impact of this kind of system, including SMR, on the sustainability. And we perform a lot of research together with other partners in project supported by Vienna Agency, investigated diverse scenario based on SMR in the context of our country, considering the evolution of the energy market and climate policy. In the national research, we have a separate part devoted to integral PWR SMR. The most of effort were devoted to deterministic and probabilistic safety assessment. This is all I wanted to present you. Thank you. Questions you have?
Thank you very much. Are there questions?
To better understand probably the comparison between the that reactor is the integral pressurized water reactor. What does integral PVR mean? So to better compare, because Nuscale, I mean the Doicesti project, which I mean the unit, the reactor is exactly this one on the poster that we have. I mean, what's the difference?
Integral PWR is let's say, a concept that includes Nuscale project. What means integral? Means this compact design. You have not primary circuit. You have inserted the steam generator and other components directly into the pool. Yeah, this means integral. PWR is a pressurized water reactor that is the classical technology. Yeah. In our case, we have also the integral part in ALFRED because we have a similar configuration. The difference between our project and Nuscale is the presence of the pumps. Here, we have not pumps. The circulation of the water is natural. We have natural circulation in case of ALFRED, but due to the fact we have lead that has a great density, we are forced to use the pumps. The circulation of the lead is a forced circulation. This is the big difference, yeah, in these terms of integral, yeah.
I will appreciate a brief update regarding the meeting which was back in September 2022 when Last Energy, an American company, was in Pitești. I think there were some kind of discussions related to the SMR, another one in that area. What's the reality now related to that meeting?
Okay. As a company, as an institute research, and RATEN, that is our umbrella company, interested in all the technology, we are interested also in Last Energy elements. We have discussion with them. We investigate the possibility to collaborate, but finally, at the moment, we didn't find, let's say, a way to go further. This is, but we are still interested in any technology because we are researchers. Yeah.
Any other question? So, thank you very much for your sorry, and Okay, for me, I am the second time that I attend this presentation in the last week, and I already noticed that how to say, learn more than the first time. So thank you very much for your presentation. Is the last one is Andrei Goicea. Is policy director in Nuclear Europe for ROMATOM. He's located in Brussels. Fortunately, cannot come here, so we have a recorded intervention from Andrei.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the invitation to participate in this event. I'm Andrei Goicea, Policy Director at Nuclear Europe, but this presentation is made from my role in the Secretariat of the European Industrial Alliance on SMRs. Unfortunately, I was not able to participate in person, but I'm happy to deliver some video updates on the Alliance. The Alliance launch on 6th of February this year is supported by three organizations: the European Commission, Nuclear Europe, the organization that I'm representing, and SNETP, the Sustainable Nuclear Energy Technology Platform. Maybe here it's worth mentioning that a lot of preparatory work has been done during the European SMR pre-partnership in order to make the launch of the Alliance happening. The main objective of the Alliance is to facilitate and accelerate the development, demonstration and deployment of the first SMRs projects in Europe in the early 2030. But as you can see, there are also some other specific objectives. Where do we stand now after the first call of membership open until 12th of April? Great success with more than 320 applications and 277 accepted members, making it one of the biggest industrial alliances launched by the European Commission. In terms of country of distribution of the members, France is leading with over 70 members, followed by Italy. Romania is also well represented, showing a great interest of different organizations in the SMR technologies. In terms of type of organizations, most of the members are SMRs project developers, followed by service engineering providers and manufacturers of components. The size of the members' organizations is well balanced, having a wide range from micro to large ones. We have 5 technologies, 1 light water SMRs and 4 advanced ones, and all these technologies are represented by 25 SMRs designs. Very shortly on the principles of the Alliance. Diversity and inclusiveness, openness and transparencies are at the core of this Alliance. In terms of governance, we have the General Assembly, chaired by 3 commissioners supporting the Alliance, the Governing Board, supported by ad hoc roundtables organized with regulators, member states, or other stakeholders. Once per year, a stakeholders forum will be organized not only for the members, but also with other stakeholders interested in SMR technologies that are not members of the Alliance. And the working structure is comprising of 2 tracks: technical working groups and project-based working groups, for which more information will be given in the slides to follow. Regarding the General Assembly, the first gathering already took place at the end of May in Brussels, the 3 commissioners leading the Alliance showing their strong support in this initiative. With this occasion, the 8 technical working groups and their leaderships were endorsed, as well as what the future steps for the project-based working groups will be. The 8 technical working groups proposed are covering different topics, and 4 of them will start or started the work right away, now in June. Please note that part of the active involvement in the work of the Alliance, Nuclear Electrica is holding right now the vice chairmanship of the Technical Working Group 6 on nuclear safety and safeguards. List of potential projects. Additional information needed to be submitted by the end of June by these applicants, and the decision will be communicated by the end of September by the Alliance. As timeline, as I said, we are currently working to kick off the first technical working groups, but I will highlight here some very important milestones. First is the technology roadmaps that should be ready by the end of the year. And the second one is the strategic action plan that should be ready in the first quarter of 2025 based on the action plans set by all technical working groups. And with this, I would like to close my presentation, not before mentioning that the second call for members for the Alliance is open. More information can be found on the official page. And with this, I would like to thank you for your attention and wish you fruitful discussions during the event.
So, unfortunately, we cannot raise questions for Andrei. So, that is, if there are other questions, generic questions from the floor, that's okay. Otherwise, I declare closed the panel number 1.